Hey, what's up guys, JK Disc Golf here, and today we got a challenge video, and that challenge is the starter pack challenge. So we got this nice Innova starter pack, and we're gonna go play. So usually for my challenge videos, I go to Red Fox. It's just that short little 9-hole, but I really didn't want to do that because I wanted to test out the phenomenon of it's the archer, not the arrow. And I feel like if I played Red Fox, the holes were too short, and I couldn't really get a full understanding how these discs fly. So actually I'm going to go to Antioch where there is some bombs, and I'm going to be throwing this DX Leopard, see if I can crush this thing 400 feet. That's not going to happen. But we're going to go out there, we're going to just see how good I can do with these discs on a pretty good course with some pretty good holes. So we're just going to see what we can do with the starter pack challenge to test that. It's the archer, not the arrow. Also, I was super excited to film this video, but it's Wisconsin, and you know what that means. It just decided, without snow being in the forecast, that it's gonna snow all night. So we're gonna be playing in 20 degrees with the snow, with 12-mile-per-hour winds. So that just makes this even that much harder. But hey, we're gonna go throw these discs. We're gonna go have a good time playing disc golf. So let's go right in there. Wait. Actually, we probably should open this up and examine the discs first. Alright, so first we have this actually really cool AVR at 146 grams. That is light, especially with this wind. So that's going to be fun to putt with. Next we have for our mid-range, we have a 144 DX Shark. I don't know if you can see that purple. So again, nice looking disc. Don't know if it's going to be a nice throwing disc. And for our driver, we have a 145 Leopard. So this is what's going to be our main distance driver today. We're going to have to throw this disc on some 400-foot holes. So we're going to see how the Leopard holds up, especially in this cold. So I'm excited. Let's go now to the course.
Alrighty guys, here we go. We're jumping right into hole number 1. It's about 300 feet, pretty straight with a little bit of fade, so I'm going to DX Shark. I know these discs are going to be really understable, so I wanted to give it a little bit of a hyzer to get a nice hyzer flip. Also, I threw it high just so I'd get that fade. See, I didn't really know how far it went, and it actually left a good amount short. I would say 25 to 30, and I'm in this really bad spot, and I really was forced to throw a sidearm putt. And, you know, I do practice these quite often, and I don't know, you guys can just watch me bang it in. That was actually really surprising. It was a great way to start up my round to get that birdie, and I never really have to throw these, but just because I practiced them, I felt comfortable and I felt that I could actually make it. So now hole 2 is a huge dog leg, basically 90-degree turn to the right. So again, I wanted to play a little bit more conservative. I didn't want to bite out too much and flip the wrong direction, so I went pretty easy shark shot up the middle just to give me a nice look at the basket, to maybe give it a little bit of a run or just put it close up for my par, because I didn't really want to bite off too much, and I really messed up that putt. I turned my wrist and I just completely failed. Like, it was just awful, and we're just banging in a par because that's kind of what I want to do. And I'm really sorry guys, but this was about a 350-foot hole. I threw my Leopard and I didn't press record on the drive, and all I can guarantee you guys, it was bad. It was a really bad drive. It just turned over and went the complete wrong direction. And you know what? I followed that up with another really bad upshot with an AVR, and now we're going to set myself about 20-25 feet for my par. Again, putting with this DX AVR was not the easiest thing because it was so light and the wind could move it, so I really needed to put a lot of spin on it to get it to go to the basket without fading or flipping, because it was like 140 grams. So now I'm going DX Shark again. I threw a little bit low. If I were thrown a little bit higher, got a little bit more distance, it would have been nice, but I'm fine with that. I give it a little bit of a run, but it was not in a spot where I'm bogeying, and that's really what I'm trying to avoid. So I had it on the right line, but with that uphill, I just didn't give it the height that it needed. So now the next hole is about 315 feet. I'm going DX Shark again, and the reason I'm going Shark and not Leopard is because the Leopard is so flippy that if I throw it 10% power, it's going to flip, and I really needed this disc to go pretty straight with a little bit of fade, so I went Shark. And a little bit of theme today was bad putting, bad upshots, because basically you can tell my reaction. I just had a really bad attempt to put my disc close, so now I have this 15-20 footer, and I went straddle because I felt like I could put more spin on it, and I really needed to put a good amount of spin on these discs so that the AVR wouldn't flip and it would just go nice and straight. So now I'm going a little bit of a Simon Lizotte line with my DX Shark, putting on a super hyzer, cutting it off just barely those branches you can see. I wanted to hug it pretty tight to get it to fade towards the basket. I threw it a little bit wide, but this disc just had a good movement on it, and it actually was a really nice ace run. So when I went up there, I was expecting it to be a little bit farther than this, but it was parked. Like I said, it just barely missed the basket, and it would actually been sick if I aced it. So this is an uphill shot, so I'm going DX Shark again because I really needed to go straight, except I roll my wrist, I threw it too hard, and it just kind of flipped and was an awful shot. That's the easiest way I can say it. So now I'm going Shark again because the wind's starting to pick up, and I feel like if I would have thrown the AVR, it would have just flipped, and I parked the Shark. So that's all I needed to do was just put it close to tap it in. Now, the 400-foot hole. Again, I'm going Shark just because if I threw a leopard, it would just die to the right. So I really wanted to do was split this hole into two 200-foot shots. And I overcooked this one, and it just flipped and turned and burned, and it did kind of avoid my game plan. I still had, I would say, 250 to 300 left, and I did the exact same thing. I just threw it too hard, it flipped, and it just died in the ground. So now I have this putt for my par, and I putted with the Shark just because the wind was picking up, and I really wanted to stay true to the line and not flip. So I gave it this somewhat of a run, I guess you could call it, but sadly I'm going to be taking a bogey, and I actually didn't. This was a little bit of a, not tester, but it was in that range where is not just a tap in. So now we have another 400-foot hole. I'm going Shark again, trying to split it up, and I felt like I gave this one a little bit of a move on it. I put it in hyzer, and this one just for some reason didn't flip. Like, it not at all. It didn't turn, and I felt like I ripped it a pretty good amount, and it actually set me up pretty well. I could just kind of lay up a little bit with my AVR. The basket is obviously broken, so I'm just going to count that as a make. I think we can all agree that I would have made that putt. So now we're one down. This is a downhill hole. When stepping up to it, it got me really scared because I really didn't want to flip this disc, so I did this. Yeah, I threw it really light with a hyzer because I thought that it was going to flip right away, but it didn't. So it kind of just hyzered out really short. So I have this kind of bad footing on the rocks with, 70 feet, 80 feet away. And I kind of threw it a little bit to the left, but I think that's fine. It was like 15 feet away. Again, I'm going this straddle putt, give it a nice amount of spin, and we're just going to take my par and walk away. I decided I needed to throw a leopard because it was a starter pack challenge and the leopard wasn't it. So I kind of threw this about 50% power with a super hyzer, and you can see that it's just going to turn and burn to the right all day. Never had a chance of coming back. This was me telling myself, why did I do that? Who cares? But I go on the Shark again, kind of just laying it up right next to the basket. Put myself like 15 feet short. Again, we're going that spin putt with the AVR. I really really putted it hard just because I wanted to go dead straight. So now the last hole we're going to do is hole 12. It's just super straight. I went Shark, threw it with a little bit of hyzer, and this thing was just pured. It went super duper straight, exactly how Shark usually does. It taps me up for this nice birdie to finish 2 under. So that was a good challenge. That was the starter pack challenge. I'm definitely not going to throw these discs anymore because they're too flippy. But I hope you guys enjoyed, guys. 2 under. If you ever want to do this, I definitely recommend it. But that's all I got today, guys. Make sure you keep throwing.